Keeping Up with the Kardashians is totally staged. Hey everyone, and welcome back to TheScreeny. It's pretty much impossible to find a reality show that's 100% authentic, as Keeping Up with the Kardashians is another entry in this genre that isn't showing its subjects in a true light. We've spent over a decade watching their family drama unravel in front of our very eyes, but most of it was just for show. Let's take a look at 8 reasons why Keeping Up with the Kardashians is totally staged. Before we provide you with undeniable proof this show is fake as hell, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Number 8. Staged Proposal. A proposal should be one of the most surprising moments in a woman's life. But not if the woman in question is Kim Kardashian. Both of her engagements were completely staged TV spectacles, and she was the master puppeteer pulling all the strings. Her second husband, Kris Humphries, pops the question in a blaze of romantic glory by spelling out the words, "Will you marry me?" using nothing but red rose petals. Seems like a pretty creative way to ask someone to marry you, but it turns out this NBA star didn't come up with this idea on his own. Kim and the producers knew he was going to pop the question that day and set the whole thing up. They decided to film the proposal in the middle of the day since the lighting was better, and one take apparently wasn't enough. Kim wasn't pleased with the way she looked the first time around and asked the crew to reshoot certain scenes before they got it right. There's been a lot of speculation surrounding her next proposal since she's been spotted wearing an engagement ring before Kanye West officially popped the question. The famous rapper turned it up to 11 by spending $3 million on this moment, and the whole thing seemed too good to be true. Number 7. SHAM Marriage. Kim's short-lived marriage to Kris Humphries put this show on the map, and it's still one of the most talked-about moments in reality TV show history. The media blizz surrounding their wedding was supposed to end after a 2-part TV special focusing on their ceremony. But this was just the beginning of the crazy rollercoaster ride this couple took us for the next 72 days. That was how long their marriage lasted, and everyone started wondering if any of this was even real once they filed for divorce. Several news outlets were speculating the whole thing was a publicity stunt the Kardashians pulled off to increase ratings and promote their personal brand. Kim later claimed she regretted the decision right away, but it felt like it was too late to pull out. The reality star fears that people would judge her and say she did it just for show. Kim claimed everyone told her she should reconsider her decision because she just didn't seem happy. But she wouldn't budge. She realized her mistake after getting a taste of married life and immediately knew it's not for her. It took her more time to get divorced than to get married because Humphries requested an annulment since he felt that Kim robbed him of an opportunity to have a real, loving marriage that he always wanted. Number 6. Fake home. Kris Jenner's luxurious home played an important role in this show from the very start. All the amazing fights and reconciliations took place between these walls, or at least that's what we thought, before learning that none of the Kardashians actually set foot on this property. The exteriors featured on Keeping Up with the Kardashians don't actually show Kris Jenner's home, since she lives 20 miles away from the estate that served as a prop on this show for years. The fans were outraged after learning that they were tricked into thinking that the family actually lived inside this Mediterranean-inspired villa, but they should have known something fishy was going on. Keeping Up with the Kardashians wasn't the only show that used this property for exterior shots. So did Chelsea Lately, True Blood, and American Horror Story. Even if you haven't seen any of these shows before, using some common sense should be enough to figure out that the Kardashians wouldn't want everyone to know where they live. Kim tried to clear the air by saying they didn't use their real home for security reasons since she had to call the police on several occasions after people started disturbing them. The family eventually realized how unsafe it was to show the exterior of their real homes and only use them for interior shots. Number 5. Editing rights. The Kardashians always had a pretty clear direction for their show and knew exactly what they wanted to do with it. It was never their goal to get 5 minutes in the spotlight and simply fall off the radar afterwards. Kris Jenner saw this series as an opportunity to transform each of her daughters into a walking brand, and that's exactly what she did. She would have never been able to do this if she wasn't calling all the shots and making sure that we only see what they want us to see. Jenner and her family members have the right to edit all the footage any way they see fit and remove anything that they don't approve of. Kim Kardashian claims they aren't using this unprecedented creative control to make themselves look better. Even though they get to see every cut and every edit, they never actually removed any of the crazy moments, including their infamous on-screen fights. Despite Kim's best attempts to convince the world that they are the real deal, some of the other stars working for the E! Network felt the Kardashians are extremely controlling and self-absorbed. Joel McHale, who hosted the satirical show The Soap, used to receive calls from network executives to stop making jokes about this infamous family because Kris Jenner complained about them. Number 4. Crying room. Being on a reality show usually means cameras are following you every step of the way. Protecting your privacy is pretty much impossible once you agree to air all your dirty laundry in front of the whole world, and you have to go the extra mile if there is something you want to keep secret. Kourtney Kardashian became aware of this after her mom expressed the desire to turn their lives into a reality TV show. Unlike the rest of her family, Kourtney wasn't too crazy about the idea. She was very skeptical from the get-go, as Kris Jenner later recalls that she was the only person who showed resistance. Things didn't get any better once the show started taping, as Kourtney was constantly craving a little bit of time for herself. Her siblings were naturals, but she struggled with being in front of the camera 24/7 and couldn't stand the fact that there's nowhere to hide. Kourtney later reveals the bathroom was her only safe place. She would often go there and cry as quietly as she could because she had to wear a mic at all times. Kourtney couldn't stand the idea of showing her tears in front of the whole world and managed to protect herself from becoming the subject of ugly crying face memes, unlike her sister Kim. Number 3. Bogus fights. Despite their ups and downs, most people agree Kourtney and Scott were their favorite couple to ever break up and make up on this show. They were both sarcastic and sassy and often seemed so over all the drama surrounding them. Despite the fact they seemed like the black sheeps of the family, Kourtney and Scott were still the very source of that same drama that seemingly bothered them. Or were they? It's been rumored that most of their heated arguments were completely staged, and the couple had a huge laugh about them as soon as the cameras stopped rolling. Others felt they were there to simply distract viewers from the real issues the couple were facing. Scott struggled with drugs and alcohol for years, and his addiction put a strain on their relationship because Kourtney didn't want to sacrifice her own happiness for his recovery. Number 2. Defamation lawsuit. Feuds between the Kardashians sometimes got so serious that they had to settle things in court. The most notorious one took place after Ellen Pearson hit the family with a $20 million lawsuit. She was the wife of the late Robert Kardashian, who passed away only 6 weeks after they tied the knot. Robert's kids weren't on great terms with their stepmom, and things only got worse after she allegedly leaked excerpts from Robert's diary to the press. They fired back by trashing her on their show and calling her a gold digger, and Ellen was mad with rage. She filed a defamation lawsuit against the siblings and their mom, and also accused them of shamefully rewriting history at the direction and behest of Kris Jenner. As if that wasn't enough, she described the matriarch of the family as a manipulative and devious mother and ex-wife who simply used and exploited her children and family. Many critics of the Kardashian family agree with her assessment, but the court apparently didn't. She lost the case and had to cash out $84,000 in the process. The judge also directed her to part ways with Robert's diary and family pictures she kept after his death. To make the whole thing even weirder, Ellen Pearson wasn't even the only person who took the Kardashians to court. Blac Chyna also filed a defamation lawsuit against her ex Rob Kardashian and his family, accusing them of slut-shaming her and sabotaging her show, Rob and Chyna. Number 1. Forced connection. Many people see Kourtney as the most relatable member of the Kardashian family, and think that there's something that sets her apart from everything else. She was the only one who didn't want to be on the show in the first place, and her opinion didn't change much as the years went by. After a huge fight she had with Kim, Kourtney said she couldn't wait for the show to be over so she could stop being part of forced relationships with her disgusting family. One can argue that this fight was another staged moment, orchestrated by Kris Jenner to increase the ratings. ratings. We wouldn't be surprised if that was the case, since Kim delivered one of the most iconic lines on this show when she described Kourtney as the least exciting to look at, and the internet is still talking about that to this day. If this epic fight was actually genuine, Kourtney gave us the confirmation the Kardashians aren't as close as they seem, and their show is the only thing holding them together. Thank you very much for watching today's video. Make sure to subscribe to our channel for more amazing content, and don't forget to check out one of the other 2 videos on your screen.